Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And I got this aggressively average content for you today. And ladies and gentlemen, people are panicking left and right for whatever reason. Because the XRP price has fallen 12%, down to 72 cents from a high of around 90. Some people have even seen 94 cents on some exchanges. But this is what I'm going to say. This is exactly what we on this channel have been expecting. But you know what's crazy? The hate never ceases to amaze me. Even when the XRP army has been extremely loyal to Fox Business and Charles Gasparino, especially in the beginning when he was covering XRP. He wants to do an 180 and then laugh at us when we see a little bit of a retracement after a 70 to 80% move in a day. This is the frustration of what it's like to be an XRP community member. Even when we get one of the most historic victories in crypto history, people still want to see our downfall. People still want to laugh at us. But if you've been witnessing this channel, you've understood that this correction has always been in the works and part of the plan. Ladies and gentlemen, we pinpointed the exact top of the price with waters above the other day. And like clockwork, it happens. And people in the mainstream that haven't been analyzing this chart for a while are over here laughing because we've corrected a little bit. But this was exactly the plan. And that's why being in this community is so important. Because while everyone's criticizing and trying to be distracting towards our success, we're over here on the path learning to become the new 1%. We just gave the SEC the biggest middle finger anyone in crypto could ever give. But now, we need to zone in and not get distracted from what we need to do. Right now is hard work time. It's pedal to the metal time. Now that all eyes in the crypto space are on XRP, this is where we have to analyze things correctly and be right on the money. Ladies and gentlemen, before I get into this interview, this emergency podcast episode I did with Waters Above Crypto, analyzing what's coming next for the XRP price chart, I have to give a brief announcement. My sincere apologies over the delay of the post I promised over the past couple days. However, Lecture 181 has finally been posted on Udemy, which is the secret indicator that'll let you beat 99% of investors in crypto for this next cycle. And that same post has been put directly on OnlyFans as well, because on this platform, I'll be able to better help all of you within the DMs with video responses in case you have questions. Please enjoy that video. And if you're on these platforms, please message me if you have any questions. Now guys, without further ado, let's get into this XRP price chart and what's going to happen next in the crypto market.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're bringing you this emergency podcast, and that quite literally is what it is, because Waters called me tonight and he was like, "Hey boy, see what's going on?" I'm like, "Yeah, this is interesting," because let me jog everyone's memory. Me and Waters, we did a part 3 just a couple days ago, I believe. I posted that on YouTube, and I think we were talking heavily about an 80 cent to $1 range for the XRP chart. And we speculated heavily that the reason XRP could reach these values is because of the XRP case or whatever other reason. Well, here we are. XRP is deemed a non-security. And I think it was within 30 minutes to an hour, it went up 70, 80, 85%. And, but just like that, we're back at around 75. So I think we're both very, very uneasy because we understand what goes up must come down. And we understand that there may not be other catalysts in store for the XRP chart at this moment in time. And I'm just very curious to get your take on what you kind of see happening right now, what some possibilities are, and yeah, dude, let's talk about what we were talking about before.
Absolutely. And it's great to reconnect with you. Looking forward to this quick, recap, since we literally just spoke last week and it was like a podcast a week ago turned into reality within a 30-minute candle. So, pretty wild to see. Do you want me to jump into the chart really quickly, kind of do a recap of what we were talking about, and then we could get into some of the theories about what to expect next?
Perfect.
So let me know if you could see the screen now.
Perfect.
Beautiful. All right. So all in all, we had a really in-depth conversation about some of the more esoteric qualities that are going on here in this chart. And I know I started breaking it down in the last podcast, and you were like, dude, what are you saying? And it's
Mhm.
pretty wild that the one thing that I specifically pointed out was this cross, this moving average cross of the 55 simple moving average and the 200 simple moving average, and
Yep.
how after we had it initiate back in September 2020, 68 days later, we hit this top right there.
That's
And
right.
then we had the cross happen in reverse over here. And 68 days later from the cross, XRP hit 68 cents. And it was the last time it traded at 68 cents
Yeah.
until yesterday. And we have other iterations of this. I'm going to cover it in my next YouTube video over on my channel. It'll probably be released sometime later today. But we had this cross happen literally 70 days ago. So within the target range, we saw the same thing occur that we did over here, a straight line breakout. And what we also see is a pattern of when we get these breakouts, the first initial wick or the first run up is where the highest prices. And you see that happen right here. You see that happen right here. You see that happen again here recently again. And it starts forming these kind of a joke, we call it a Bart Simpson head. And the XRP chart is loaded with these. You can see them over and over, these square top crown formations, Bart after Bart after Bart. And what people want to know now is, well, is that going to happen again off of this recent breakout? What were you going to say?
Yeah, and something you were telling me that I found to be very interesting, because I believe it to be 100% true, is that XRP is a trader's coin, because
Absolutely.
what the big boys in the market, the market makers, billionaires, whatever you want to call them, what they do is they play on retail sentiment. And I think something you mentioned in our previous podcast is that when push comes to shove and it's time to put your money where your mouth is, retail buying is not something that sends the XRP price up. Right. So I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah, and it shows in volume and it shows in some other indicators, but needless to say, navigating a breakout on XRP whilst it's breaking out is impossible. And this is why I teach in my community and on my YouTube channel publicly. You need to be positioned in this thing when it's boring. When it's super boring is the best, because this is one of the few projects that just has these straight line breakouts, caps, kind of trades on a resistance, and then it gets rejected, Bart Simpson head, and you're kind of left in this cyclical kind of I wish I took action feeling. And you're very, you're spot on about this sentiment game. It's always been that way, and that's where we get the term buy the blood in the streets. You want to buy the emotions. We want to sell the emotions as well. So it's really interesting to me, this sell wall that initiated at 94 cents, it smacked XRP down within a 10-minute candle back to 80 cents. So what does that tell you? And this was actually all before the Coinbase relisting. So now that Coinbase has relisted XRP, nothing is happening. It's still kind of chugging along this 75 to 85, 82, 83 cent range. And again, going back to our first podcast ever, what did I say? I say to anticipate 83 cents is the next key target. And today, like 2 days in a row, rejected off that 83 cent level, many of these, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour candles. So this was a technical play, brother. This case being a part of the narrative doesn't matter. This was a technical play. And
Yeah.
until retail actually starts stepping in with a decent amount of money and it shows in volume, this coin could actually be trapped below $1. So this is kind of a sad thing. And we're getting to the negative news first, right? That's kind of the best way to do it. You always want to be conservative in this game. And if you don't have the, emotional capacity to deal with the negative, well, then you're not in the right place, So getting the bad news out of the way first, retail really needs to step in, and it's clear that they have not. This sell wall that was initiated at this 94 cent level, it was something that we should have been able to get through, but there's no buyers stepping in. If anything, there's people taking profits. And I actually took some profits on this. I don't call it profit taking, I call it de-risking, because that's kind of the way that I look at my portfolio overall. I have a percentage that I'm looking to de-risk, and then I have a percentage that I'm looking to actually take profits on, depending on, other technical analysis that I have. But I was sticking to that 83 cent level. I took some profits there. And I want people to be reminded of this, that the same shit happened back when I started my channel around this moment here, where I was saying, okay, guys, I'm taking my profits, $1.20, $1.40, $1.70. I was public about it and I got crucified. So here we are again, where I'm like, it's not that I'm trying to influence people. This is not financial advice, but you need to take action on this project, because going back to what Bull just said, it is a trader's coin. And what just happened over the last, 12 hours still proves it in the price action.
That's probably one of those things that people don't necessarily want to hear but need to hear. So it's one of those things I don't necessarily even subscribe to, but it's been true, right? It continuously proves itself to be true. Like, I'm not in XRP to trade it necessarily. I'm in XRP as a long-term holder, but time and time again, what we continue to see is that these specific price targets, these levels, they get rejected. They boom, Bart Simpson consolidation, and it's a pattern. It repeats every single time. And if this is what I'll say, if you go into this with a long-term investor mindset and you have a long-term bag packed and ready to go, but you also have a little bag packed that you experiment on trading this chart with, and you find the patterns in this XRP chart, you can add quite a bit to your bags that you'd be absolutely shocked to see. Because the people that I know have made the most money on XRP trade these 100% swings.
Yep.
Like snipers. And they make 1,000% on their original bags, just boom. Sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. And it's all
this was the case for me back during this moment here.
Look at that. Just look at that. Yeah. Imagine if you bought right before XRP pumped, sold close to the top, saw the SEC case come out, bought around the low of the SEC dumping and all these exchanges delisting, then rebought, then sold on a pump, then bought back. Unbelievable. So it's just something that I'm putting out to every single one of you. I'm not fudding your bags. I don't FUD XRP at all. I'm more bullish on XRP than any one of you. I've been here for 5 years now in this digital asset, saying aggressively average every single fucking day. but it's something that I've matured into, because I've seen that there's truth in what's being discussed right now. And especially, you guys need to understand that I discuss and talk to people that are much richer than most of you, that actually control the prices in this market. If you guys understood the conversations that are being had behind closed doors about XRP and retail investors, you guys would be upset, because they literally say, yeah, we play on the emotions of the XRP army, because we know they're not going to sell because they don't know what the hell they're doing. They're just holding until 589.
Exactly.
We just play around.
Yep.
And that's the truth. Right. But
and I want people to be reminded, like, don't get it twisted. Like, the first time me and you talked, what were the upper price targets I exposed for the next bull run? I said $14 to $15.
Yeah, I believe it was around there, which is special. It's a special thing. So,
but did I say that this SEC case will have anything to do with it? No. Yeah. I was very adamant that we need price discovery in the overall market. We need money in here. There is none.
Mhm. Yeah.
This coin is at 79 cents right now after a 3-year lawsuit. Okay.
Yeah.
So I want people to see that just because Waters is saying right now that he's taking some profits at 83 to 86 cents. I took one at 89 cents, about maybe 5% of my position. The purpose is because it will allow me to get more XRP on a pullback. And the people that don't think that is possible, you got to wake up. You got to take the rosy glasses off, because a retest at 54 cents is definitely in the cards. So we're going to, this is important. This is eye-opening shit now, because all 3 of our podcasts came to life. And this idea of a 14 or 15, maybe even $22 XRP, that's in the cards for the end of 2024. Absolutely. But for now, we're not playing that game. There's a lot of shit that could go down in October, November. We talked about that in the last podcast. You don't think that's going to affect XRP? It will.
Yeah.
It will.
And I kind of do want to touch on that, because so we've reached this stage, we've been anticipating for, I think, whether it's a couple months or at the very least a couple weeks now. It finally reached that low, right?
Yep.
Now it's about what's next. And I'm curious to know, so are you saying that this approximately 94-cent level, I think it wicked to, I think what you're saying is that might have been the top for what we just saw.
Yes and no. The reason is because we've completed an automatic rally in Wyckoff method. And I think that was what I was talking with you about, maybe in like the first or second podcast, about how we've seen the automatic rally happen in Bitcoin. We saw it happen in ETH. ETH is done, actually. ETH could move a little higher, but technically it's fulfilled its automatic rally upside targets, whilst Bitcoin still has a little room to go, somewhere into like 33 up to 40K. I know it's a big range, but that's crypto for you. But with XRP, we did not have any automatic rally until yesterday, and it happened in a single candle. So I don't like how explosive this was, but I knew it would be this explosive. And that's why I had those limit orders set. And that's why I kept warning people about these targets. We just have to see how the next 3 to 4 days would go, because what I have seen in prior iterations of these pumps that just come out of nowhere is it's about 4 days after the first big candle is when we tend to top out. So XRP on its breakouts, it makes its decisions of where it's going to stop very early. Very early in its breakout. And that stabilization moment where it's trading sideways at a new microcycle top could last like 2.5 weeks before we have a pullback. So this could all be done by July. And the idea of a move up, I could entertain it. And that's why I told you as well, $1.10 is a technical level. So for anyone who's like in this game, like setting limit orders, you always want to go a little bit below. That's what I preach. I am not telling people what to do in this, though, because I know a lot of people, they have their own thesis. They're looking to hold out for the next bull run. They're kind of thinking, maybe should I accumulate more in case this doesn't pull back? And this is the kind of stuff where like having an investment thesis is so crucial. Like if you really believe that this is going to continue up and up and up, then great, that's on you. But for me, I mean, this is pretty much initiating the finality of what I call an automatic rally, which is this golden pocket territory. Above this, highly unlikely. We will probably make it up at least one more little shot. My intuition tells me that, brother. That's intuition talking. But as for the technicals, you see this red line right here at 91 cents. I don't know what video it was or what podcast I had, but that was pretty much my level. I said I do anticipate a swipe through that. And that's like magic, the fact that we hit it. And looking really ultra technically, we skimmed the 618 fib, which is the bottom of that golden pocket.
I know, it's so in your face. So in your face.
So this is how automatic rallies end. Like if you look at the way that Bitcoin, let me know if you could still see my chart.
Yep. Perfect.
Okay, so we're looking at a Bitcoin chart, and this is important to realize because the way automatic rallies end look like a blow off top. So this was the way it ended back in June of 2019. This is a cycle that we've been talking about a lot in my work, because we were trying to find when these relief rallies come in, how far do they go, how do they end? And you know more than anyone that I've been talking about a relief rally in this market for 6 months, and now it's proven across the board. I mean, the accuracy has been unbelievable too with a couple projects such as Hex, which I don't even invest in. I just, their community reached out to me for similar reasons that you reached out to me. We're really trying to dial this all in without emotions, and it's helping us see clearly. So look at the way that this automatic rally came to its finality. It was just one last push. It's very blow off top type vibes, and then we initiate downtrend, and the downtrend could last all the way until the next Bitcoin halving. So people that don't think that this matters as an XRP investor, like I just don't know what to tell you. All of this stuff matters because this market moves as a unit. We actually haven't even had like our .com bubble moment. I think that's on the horizon. We all know that there's 20,000 shit coins in this market that need to go away.
Oh.
And that actually is what I feel is the reason for a double-digit XRP. And I know that sounds counterintuitive, but ultimately, if all that liquidity leaves the bad, the space of bad actors, it's going to go to the places where it should have been in the first place. So all this funny money is going to go into the blue chips, if you will. And XRP is without a doubt one of them.
Yeah. What's crazy is that I actually think this next run is going to be the last opportunity to really make money in crypto.
The last bull run.
I genuinely believe it's going to be the last one.
I agree with you 110%.
God, and that kind of scares me. You're supposed to say, no, you're crazy. The technicals, bull. Come on. Shit. I hate it.
No, but no. I'm going to go over to the Amazon chart, but finish your thoughts, please, because I think we're all interested, but then we'll go over to this Amazon chart. So what are you thinking, brother?
Yeah, the reason I say that is because we're moving into this CBDC, death of wealth creation, globalization type of environment. That's what we're heading into. We're heading into the AI control grid. We're heading into the digital prison, and wealth creation is going to be unbelievably limited. And this is actually my warning that I gave to my mentorship community last night as well. I'm like, this is your last chance to make any significant wealth from generating and building assets, whether it's digital assets or real world real estate assets. They want you to own nothing and be happy. And they're not going to do it in the way where history is usually done it, where they just take all this shit away from you necessarily. They're going to do it by literally making it financially unobtainable for you, right? That's how close we are. Like, look at how expensive it is to buy a home for first-time homeowners. Look at how expensive gold is getting, right? For a lot of people, that's unattainable. For a lot of people, Bitcoin is unattainable, right? And what is this all about? There's not going to be any upward mobility, and I can't stress that enough. This is literally your last chance, and you can't fuck this up. That's it.
Yes, I agree. We are not quite yet in the worst times. It could get pretty rough. I'm sure you've seen that video of Christine Lagarde talking about numerology. Like, so for all the people that are newer to my work that think that I'm just making this stuff up, it's beautiful to go watch that clip of Christine Lagarde literally trying to teach numerology to a group of people. And for anyone who's unaware, she's essentially the head of the Euro Central Bank. And recently she's come out and said that they will be making decisions on the digital euro by October of this year. Same person that's talking about numerology, and she's talking about the power of the number 7. And she went on to talk about the 7-year cycle, which I talk about, and it's called the Shemitah cycle. And she went on to talk about the 7 good years and the 7 bad years. Bro, she is spilling the beans on how this whole first world works.
Can you send me this video, bro? To be honest.
Sure. I'm sure it's very easy to Google for anyone who's listening to this, but yeah, you just type in Christine Lagarde numerology, or you could type in 7 good years, and she breaks it down. I'm pretty sure the video was probably from like around 2015, 2016, around this box right here, which was the last Shemitah cycle. And then we moved up into C19 event, and then it felt like doom for a moment. But when it comes to money making, it was actually super positive. And anyways, we all lived through it, so we know the story. But my point here is that are we heading into the 7 bad years? You know, that's what people might be wondering. And I'm not quite convinced, actually. But I do think that this next bull run will be the finality of like the good energy to anticipate in this market. And for the traditional markets, I see that ending in possibly 2026. But for crypto, I see that leading into the end of 2024 into early 2025, and then lights out for, you know, this whole concept of becoming a billionaire, millionaire off of a small investment amount. Like basically what I'm saying in plain English is you're going to need a lot more money to make a substantial amount of money in crypto. It's not going to be like the craze that we had in the last cycle where you threw in $100 and you could have made 1,000%. A lot of that's going to go away when we have the shitcoin washout, because the smart money is going to really, really take its position, and they're going to be much slower in the way that they, you know, move this market than right now, where it's like the wild, wild west.
Yeah. I'm gonna look at that Lagarde video, because what I'm gonna call that, I call shit like that deciphering the lizard talk, my friend.
Well, you know, I mean, they do it all the time. They've been doing it all the time. People just don't pay attention. You know, people don't pay attention to the clues that they're leaving. It's in all of your Hollywood movies. It's in everything that's happening on the world stage. Nobody pays attention to the symbolism, and it's because people don't have the eye to see. They've been distracted, and that's what my work is all about. It's like about literally giving people the sight back. And now that you could decode what's happening, you know, you could remove your emotions completely, and you could become the most profitable you've ever been. So, I mean, it's really up to the people. Like, it's not about belief anymore. It's just the way this world works. I know people want there to be rhyme and reason behind everything, but if that was if it was as that, you know, easy, there'd be a lot more wealth in this world distributed amongst a larger percentage of people, but it ain't. It's distributed in the smallest percentage, and it's amongst people that know astrology.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
There is no single billionaire out there that is not aware of this esoteric code and how it operates on the world stage and how they could utilize it against you to profit off of you. And that's all this is, right? In order to make money, you have to sell it to somebody else. And who are they selling it to?
Yep.
Or who are they pricing out, right? When it comes to tangible assets and land, who are they pricing out? I talked about this when I started my YouTube channel on my live streams. I said, there will be no food shortage. There was so much of this conspiracy about food shortages. I'm sure maybe you even heard about it. And some people, because they know the way I talk, they would think that I would be a proponent of pushing this theory that there will be a food shortage. And I said, no, there will not be a food shortage. There will be hyperinflation in food. That's different. Food will still be here. It'll just be 300% more expensive than it was in 2018. That's all. And that's exactly how it went. We saw eggs go up 600% in some instances, gallons of milk. I mean, you name it. Pretty much everything in regards to food went up substantially, or energy going up. And they blame Russia and the Ukraine thing. But again, they're always giving you something to believe in. They want you to believe in whatever they blame. Just like they blamed, what was it, bats during the beginning of C19. Like, they always want to blame something, and this is how you get people to believe in it. But anyways, I don't want to get off the rails here. To get back to reality, I really loved what you brought up about how you feel the last bull run, or this upcoming bull run, will be the last crypto bull run to make really ridiculous amounts of money. And I agree with you, because I think that we are in our process, at least for the Bitcoin chart, coming into this moment here, where we have this one nice little rally. It's not going to be a double top. It will be price discovery. But then after that, we're just going to start moseying on along, just continuing and continuing and continuing up slowly, over the next, you know, however many years we're even still alive on this planet. So That's really the case that I see to come for things like Ethereum, Bitcoin, and anything that makes it through this washout. I think the biggest decode of my life will probably be the whole idea of when to anticipate this washout.
Yeah. I think I have one final question for you. After this XRP chart potentially tops out, we're still in the midst of this pattern playing out and the volatility being right before us. Where do you think we could come back to, like, for this potential October crash?
So this trend line that I have, the blue one at the bottom, it might be a little difficult to see. It's a little noisy. Maybe this one is a little bit easier, actually. Let me turn this all off and make it nice and clean. Okay, so this is a very key support trend line. It is noticeable through the C19 crash, retest, and then this is your Flare token airdrop nonsense. This is the SEC lawsuit touching your semi-bull run, then coming down into this bear market, and you could see it held as a perfect support all the way until we bounced bullish. This was a close to 300-day support line. And if we take it from its totality, you're looking at over 1,000 days. So I do entertain this being your major support trend line. Anyone who knows my work, you know that I don't prioritize trend lines. I keep that as like a tertiary part of my analysis. But when you see this much data in front of your eyes, you can't deny it. And it's something you need to consider. So we could also talk about moving averages, because I feel like that's something else that's going to be very important here. But the problem with XRP and moving averages is it moves so violently, and moving averages are lagging indicators. So it kind of skews the data a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and say that in October, November, we could actually have a 45-cent XRP, because that's the 236 fib, and that tends to be a typical level that you retest after an automatic rally. So to give people the very quick rundown, you call it automatic rally after you break above the 382 fib. We have. You consider the end of the automatic rally anything above the 0.5 fib and into the golden pocket. Then after you get rejected there, the reason it's called an automatic rally is because it's a bull trap. It gets people to think that you're going to continue on to price discovery into a new bull run, but that's not the case. Then after that rejection, you tend to gravitate back to the 236. So a very technical level, just like we shared the technical 80 to 91 cent level, the very technical level would be 45 cents. And if we were to just take this out and move it a little bit, a wick down to 41 cents and then right back up to 45 could all happen in the same week. So that's kind of my level. That's where I'd be setting my buy targets, because I would be shocked if XRP trades below, if it starts to break below this key level right here, 36 cents. If it breaks below 36 cents, that's a problem.
It's crazy when you actually look at where that trend line and that 236 intersect. Look at the date where it intersects. Right there, it's around October, so around that October time frame, or where the red line intersects. Excuse me. That's around.
Right. It's right there. It's right there on the solar eclipse of October, which is a date that I've been talking about so much. Like, anyone who studies stock market crashes, you see this patterning of October. You had Black Monday. I mean, it's uncanny the amount of October market crashes we have. So that's what I anticipate to come for the overall stock market. But I don't think it'll be as bad of a correction for XRP. So for the people that are like, wait, you just said 41 cent XRP, that's really bad. No, it is not. Compared to all the other shit, like, how many people got, into Pepe recently?
Oh, Pepe
You think that shit? You think that? Yeah, people think that shit's gonna last. No, it's done.
Bro, do you have beef with Pepe, bro? Come on, don't do that.
I'm gonna keep it to myself.
I'm kidding. I've never, dude. It's one of those tokens I look at. I'm like, I can't believe. Like, I genuinely couldn't believe this was happening again. It frustrates me.
I actually like it. I personally like the more distractions for retail, the better for us.
Bro, first it was the stupid dogs. Now they got Pepe Le Pew, the fucking frog. Like, I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of it
Well,
all. Like,
it's
it's
all
like the
again,
laughing in
it's
your
all
face.
opportunity.
No, it's not an opportunity. It's exit liquidity and scam nonsense. I'm tired of all
I
of this.
know.
I'm tired of
I I had a lot of words to say back during the NFT craze when it was a craze. And I was not, people weren't happy with that. You know, they were really, really promoting it and coming up with all of these justification, tactics for it. And I told people, I'm like, you guys wait a year. Let's see where NFTs are at.
yeah.
And I just saw an update recently. Somebody shared that like the
The Justin
Justin
Bieber
Bieber bought an, yeah, like it lost what 99.99% of its value. Again, one of my favorite comedians, Tim Dillon, he was talking about the Lindsay Lohan NFTs. And then he said to his co-host, he said, when I told everyone a year ago that we're in the era of fake business, I didn't know how right I was going to be. And I was just like, I died laughing because of how accurate that is. Like, if we want to talk about the era of fake business, it will be anything built on blockchain while we're in this ultra speculative phase, which I think NFTs are the poster child of this fake business world. And then we have AI, which is going to add on another layer. So I think what's going to happen is, because of all the nonsense going on with NFTs and with AI, that's going to give a big reason to regulators to strike the hammer. And XRP is not going to be in their crosshairs. Bitcoin will not be in their crosshairs. Ethereum will not be in their crosshairs. Will a bunch of ERC20 tokens be? Absolutely. Will it impact stablecoins? Probably. But this is going to be an interesting event. And I think it's that will cause it. It's too much, weird shit that they don't know how to control. When the government doesn't know how to control it, they come up with a reason to. And that's all that's necessary. They're the ones that have the final say in what's considered to be a legal form of business and what isn't. We're in interesting times, man. And we're also like in uncharted waters. This is not like the .com situation. This is not like that. This is very different. And we're in a totally different world regarding how easy it is with the on and off ramps into crypto. Like, just being able to open up your phone and invest in 70, 80 different tokens, that didn't exist back in the 2015 cycle. That didn't exist back in the 2017 cycle. Now it does. Now you could very easily get in and out of this market, and the market maker knows this. And that's why they allowed all this bullshit to come into this space in 2020, 2021. It's really unhealthy, and something's got to give. So I think if anything that's going to cause this washout of the market, it will be something due to regulation, because they don't know how to control it. And that's all they need as an excuse.
Yeah. Powerful. Powerful, brother. I think for the most part, I think that's really what the emergency announcement was about. Just trying to look at this chart and see what's coming next. It's pretty frightening that you're from the future. I didn't know that when I first met you, and now, and it's 100% true, my friend. Um, I'd ask you some more questions, but I don't really want to know when the zombie pandemic is coming. I want to kind of prepare and be surprised. Uh, to be very fair, I think plenty of people are grateful for the work you do, despite any negative comments that come with their sideswiping energy. I'm not. I think they at this point it should be ignored. It's been 3 times in a row, my friend. There'll probably be a fourth. Uh, time will time will settle all arguments, but it's always a pleasure, brother. And anything you need from me, as always, don't hesitate to ask. Plenty of people, if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I'll try and relay that to him. And we're getting on the money, my friends. 2022, like I've always said, was a shit year for us, and especially in the XRP community and the general altcoin investing community. Now we've recalibrated. We're walking with our feet on the ground, but head in the skies, for lack of a better term. And we're really looking at this market from every angle and really narrowing in. So it's really fun. It's really getting exciting, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was great to reconnect with you. I mean, just final thoughts on the recap of all of this. Again, I will be coming out with a YouTube video where I'll break it all down step by step, but there is another opportunity for one more breath up on XRP, given that 4 day to 6 day window after the initial breakout. So, by the time this goes up, I mean, we got to see how this weekend goes when the stock market's closed. And if some buyers step in, we could have another push up to $1 at least. And that would be really solid, especially for those people that, have been holding out and maybe accumulating at the sub 50 cent levels. Just be considerate of that. That moment could be opportunity for people. And for the long-term investor, just take this as short-term analysis. That's all this is. This is not the end all upside prices for XRP by any means. And I will always keep this in my top 2 holdings because I'm looking forward to that next bull run.
Amazing. Everyone at home, I appreciate every single one of you. Waters, love you to death, brother. Thank you so much. And
yeah, appreciate you. Love you, man.
For those of you in the future that will eventually run into my channel, you're welcome in advance. And I hope to reference these podcasts to our future audiences from a much more wealthy perspective, and just be like, hey, this is the proof. We've been here from the beginning, my friend. We didn't waver through the bear market. We're going to prosper during the bull market, my friend.
100%.